Hey guys, and welcome to Car Guy 1999 reviews. Today, thanks to McFarland House of Cars, we have their 2023 BMW M2. This one here is the manual transmission, and I absolutely love it. I mean, I am just head over heels. Carbon roof. Oh, what a spec. 453 horsepower from this 3-liter turbo 6, 406 pound-feet of torque. That's just what I was looking up there. Now we're inside. Oh, what a place to be. All right. 6-speed manual. Do have reverse, obviously. A lot of people are gonna say they hate this. I actually kind of love it. It fits perfectly, and the seam between it, the steering wheel blocks it, so it actually works really, really well. Another thing I love about the car is a lot of modern manuals, when you're in your highest attack modes, or there's a certain mode you have to be in to enable rev matching or disable rev matching. Not in this car. Simply go into setup. I have everything on full attack mode except for traction control, because I don't need to take traction control off. I can simply turn on and off rev matching. It's that simple, and I love it. Heads-up display, obviously carbon roof, so no sunroof. Do have a button exactly right here for M sound control. Being the owner of a Porsche, I'm obviously familiar with that. Not M sound control, but a button for the exhaust. And it's something that I actually have grown to love, because if you're starting the car up early in the morning or coming home late at night, just turn that on and off. You can still be in all your sport modes, but you can turn the exhaust on and off. Or you can be in all your comfort modes and have some exhaust sound. First time in the new M2. I've been wanting to drive one for a very long time now. I am very, very impressed. I have driven the new M3, the new M4, so it takes a lot of that and puts it in a smaller package, which makes it a lot more nimble. That's not to say this feels like a small car. It is not a small car anymore by any means. I have driven the previous gen M2 Comp. That definitely felt like a smaller car than this. But I also kind of like that about this. So the one thing about my Boxster, 718 Boxster GTS, is it's a small car. So you definitely feel like you have that little bit of compromise. In fact, that was one of the reasons I thought about going with a 911. It's just because it feels a little bit bigger. This car is the perfect size, and that's why I think a lot of people are going M2 instead of M3, M4. And yeah, there's going to be those haters that, oh, you couldn't afford an M4. They're very close to the same price at this point. Obviously, M4 CSL and all that stuff, you can go deep 6 figures, which I think is absurd, but that's besides the point. I do love all the special M touches in this interior. It definitely feels like a very special car, and it really kind of is, especially in today's day and age. Having a manual sports car, I'm pretty sure BMW has said this is going to be the last new manual M car. And I do think this has taken everything from a lot of different M cars and kind of combined it into something very, very special. When BMW did the 1M, everybody thought this is the size of an E30. This is the better car. And so that spawned the M2, that then spawned this M2. Has all the comfort features that you're ever gonna want, and all the performance of some pretty high-end cars. Gearbox, phenomenal. I absolutely love it. Obviously, if you want to... But I have had a lot of fun doing it myself. And then on the highway, it's a super comfortable car. I have no issues with blind spots. That's the one downside of the 718 Boxster and Cayman, is the blind spots. You do have blind spot monitoring. And the reason I'm making that comparison is I just read in Motor Trend a comparison between the M2 and the 718 GTS. Of course, that was a 4-liter car, but same basic platform. And I absolutely loved the previous gen M2, especially in the competition trim. But I always felt that car was a little bit snappy. I did drive it in 40-degree weather. It was a lot of power. And this car, don't get me wrong, is still a lot of power. It has almost 100 more horsepower than my Boxster GTS. So, but it also weighs more. So in reality, this is, a lot of you may remember I had a Hellcat before the Boxster. This is a very, I would say 75% Porsche Boxster, 25% Hellcat. This has the power, that performance, that muscle car feel to it, but only in terms of straight line speed. Other than that, the way this car corners and overall just drives is very, very German. And that is the biggest compliment you can ever get of a sports car. And see, doing it myself with the rev matching, easy. I mean, I've been in this car for 20 minutes. And it is just delightful to drive. And that's where the M2 really shines, because the M3, M4 are very capable cars, and they are a ton of fun to drive at the limit. But let's be honest, and even this is even the case with this car, the limits are so high that you're never gonna ever find them on the street without going absolutely stupid. So you definitely want to have something that's fun to drive at 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, because 10/10 in this car, you need to be on a track. And so this car kind of takes the daily driving aspect and turns it up to 11. It makes this thing just absolute joy. And you see what I mean by power? That is a lot of power. Very, very minimal turbo lag. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.